Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make a mini oyster with a pearl, and it is done on a single loom. I can hear the cheering right now. So it's an itty bitty mini one. Okay, so we're going to start with our loom arrows facing towards us. It's going to be the configuration is an offset position, so the middle column is going to be higher than columns 1 and 3. Arrows facing towards us. If you don't have arrows, that's the open part of the peg facing towards you. We're going to be double banding, and you're going to need 2 different colours. I'm going to use a light grey for the shell, and then I'm going to use a darker grey as I guess an offset, just to do sort of like the frilly jaw bits around the edge of it, just the difference. You're going to need a pearl bead, and I have already threaded my pearl bead onto a clear band, and I used my little metal threader for that, and there is a YouTube video on my channel on how to make a metal threader from a twisty tie. Okay, we're going to double band, so let's get started. Starting up the top here. One of the tricks of doing this that I found is always do the ones that go down. You start from the top and you work your way down. So before we do the side ones, you always want to make sure that these are done first. It's very tempting to do the outer shape of something and then fill in the middle, but you'll come a cropper if you do that. So that's the top of the shell. This is the hinge of the shell. Now we'll do the bottom bit of the shell. Now we'll do the side bits again. We're still double banding. And when we get to the darker grey bands, then we're going to be single banding. So now we'll get the darker grey, and we're just going to use 1 band. And we're just going to do the outer shape. Of our little oyster, or clam, whatever you want to call it. Push your bands down. Now we're going to put some crossover bands on. There'll be 2 each side. You're going to use a single band, stretch it into a triangle, like so, either side. And then our little pearl is going to sit here in the middle. So we're just going to stretch it between these 2 pegs, like that. Going to put an end cap on this one, so take a single band, stretch it, 1, 2, 3. If you need a bit of help getting that off your fingers, use a hook. Now it's time to loom. You are going to completely ignore the top grey band, so you're going to go under your end cap, past those grey bands, the dark grey, and you're just going to grab the 2 light grey bands, hold onto your end cap and loom up. And the same, ignore those dark grey bands and grab the 2 light grey and loom up. Ignore the dark grey, just loom the light grey. And then we loom up the middle here. Don't worry about the pearl, that will pop through when we take it off the loom. And you can keep it in the middle there, that's fine, but it will pop through, we'll pop it through to the hinge. Gently does it on the hinge, that's tight. Move your hook around the outside of that peg to loosen it up a bit. Okay, we're going to look for the 2 bands that were on top. And in my case, it's this side. So I'm going to go down past the grey bands and find the 2 light grey bands and loom them across. And then these 2 and loom them across. And then the middle ones and loom them up. Loom up and loom up. Oops, let's move that down so you can see what on earth I'm doing. Loom across to the middle, across to the middle, this one loom up, and then we're going to get 2 light grey bands, slide our hook in and out the side here. Grab the 2 grey bands and pull up and to the back of this peg. You're going to reclaim your bands onto your hook, take the ones closest to you, lift them up, over and off your hook and tighten it into a slip knot. You're going to get something to help you ease this off your loom. I use the back of a hook. If you don't have anything, just do it really gently. And always go with the way of the curved part of the peg, so you're not ripping it from this side where you've got these little sharp jaggedy edges and things can get caught, whereas if you're pulling it from this way, it's going over the smooth soft edges and it's a much safer option and less likely to break your bands. Okay, so now we're going to poke the pearl through so that it's sitting in its little oyster bed, and we're going to hide these bands that we've just tied everything off with by grabbing them and pulling them back under some of these existing bands here, so that they're sort of hid discreetly in the jumble of bands that we have. You have already done a slip knot on it, so it's safe. All we're doing is just discreetly hiding these under some of these bands so they don't stick out. So there we go. And now you have your little mini oyster. I'd love to see some of yours. Please post them to our Facebook channel. Take care. Bye bye.